Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well. First of all, I want to just thank everyone for 30 subscribers. It might not mean a lot or seem a lot to a lot of people, but I really do appreciate everyone that has subscribed and taken time to watch some of these videos. And I really do hope it's helping anyone out there, if it's educating them or they can relate to the situation. That's the whole point of this. My last video, I started a little series to talk about manipulation tactics, and in that one, I talked about gaslighting, projection, and love bombing. In this video, I want to talk about guilt tripping, something called moving the goalpost, and triangulation. So those are the next three manipulation tactics that people may use, and I want to go in depth in them. So the first one in this video I want to talk about is guilt tripping. Now I'm sure the term guilt tripping has been used for quite a bit, and I'm pretty sure people who are listening to this have heard the term before, but by definition it's when someone tries to make you feel responsible or guilty of your actions or decisions. Now the one example I could think of that I feel like a lot of people can relate to is when your parents try to guilt trip you. It could be when they say you go to college and they pay for it, or they not even college, they could just give you money, right? And it could be something with like anything. It could be college, you ask for money, they give it to you, and you think they're just giving to you because they're your parents. They'll support you when you need it, but they can later use that as an example of doing something that they want to do and you say no, but then they could be like, but I gave you money, why would you say no to me if I'm supporting you financially? You have to do what I say. Like, even if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't, like, say, even go to college, or you'd have to take out student loans, or you wouldn't have a signer who signed off on the student loans. It's just examples like that, and I feel like that's the easiest one, is money. There are other examples. The guilt trip could be associated with gaslighting, and I feel like the connection is because they'll use certain objects that they do for you, and then they'll twist it and saying like, I did this so you could do something for me, and not the goodness of your heart. So the next tactic I want to talk about is a term called moving the goalpost. So what is moving the goalpost? This is essentially when someone is constantly changing their expectations of you the last minute. They'll give you no preparation whatsoever. They'll just always expect more from you, and not in a positive way. The best example I could think of this is when somebody in your life, they they tell you to do something, or they have this certain expectation of you. Say, I'll go back to the school example. You say you don't really want to go to school, but you do it to make your parents happy, right? You tell them you'll only get a bachelor's, and that's it. You won't go for your master's or any other certification. They'll say yes to, they'll say yes and agree to that in that moment. But then, say once you're close, you have a semester or a year left of getting your degree, they'll be like, well, if you wanna they'll be like, well, since you're already close to getting your degree, you might as well go for your master's. You might as well do another one. Now, if somebody wants to do that, like, on their own choice, that's fine. But if somebody is telling you, say you had a verbal agreement already in place, and you already fulfilled it, or you're about to fulfill it, but at the last possible second they tell you that they have a different expectation of you without any notice, this will be an example of moving the goalpost. In the final tactic I want to talk about in this video is known as triangulation. So what is triangulation? Triangulation often happens when a third person is brought into your communication instead of keeping the issue between the two that have initially been impacted. So say you're having an argument with a narcissist, a toxic person, any term you would like. So say it's between you and the person. And I'll just go back to the parent because I just feel like it's the easiest one to use an example. So you have an issue between you and your parent. They will bring your other parent, or say another family member, in the drama, quote unquote, just so they could have a third unbiased party to be into this when when the initial issue had nothing to do with them. I feel like this is one of the worst types of manipulation tactics that a narcissist could use, because it will just further divide other people. It could be a stranger, it could be one of their friends, as I said before, a family member, a friend. It could be someone who absolutely has no dog in the fight, and they just use them so they could have another pawn to manipulate. And this could further damage the relationship between you and the third party that was initially brought into this. So, as I said, I feel like this one is one of the worst things that someone can do, because this could damage a relationship that wasn't even initially involved. And I feel like a narc would do this just so they could have that power to control not just one person. Say if you're giving out that reaction that they want, they'll get it from another one, or that person will agree with them because they'll only show that side, and it will just be biased in their mind if the narcissist like spoke to them first, or be it how it may. So those were the three that I wanted to talk about in this video: the guilt tripping, moving the goalpost, and triangulation. So that brings me to the end of this video. It was a little quick thing I wanted to do to just name off a couple more manipulation tactics, and explain them in depth. There are multiple, like there's tons of tactics that I could go over, and I do plan on going over them because I feel like this really will help someone to see if this is happening to them and they just don't know it, or they like knew about it but they just didn't know which specific term that was being like done. I really hope this helps somebody. Anybody listening, anyone could relate to this. If you could spot the signs, try your best to educate yourself on it, and try to get yourself out of the situation. With that being said, guys, please like, comment, subscribe. Check out my other videos. So thank you again for 30 subscribers. Again, it might not seem a lot, but I truly am appreciative. And without further ado, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.